The longer B1 has become one of my new favorite lasers, and you can see it's back on my workbench here, and that's because I was working on a customer project. Now, as I was working on that project, I thought, this is such an amazing laser for the money, but it could just be so much better if it had one extra feature. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make that feature because it isn't available on the market, and I'm going to focus here on the longer B1, of course. But you can use this on just about any laser and it will improve your workflow substantially. So with that, let's get started. Hey, how's it going? Steve here, welcome back. Now, I still have the longer B1 sitting in my workshop here, and that's because I'm using it for real customer projects. I love it, it's a great laser, but it's got one gap. And it's the same gap that is in almost every other diode laser on the market, and that's the lack of a crosshair for knowing where engraving is going to start. Now, I got into a conversation with a viewer, Eric, and you can read the comment up here that he made initially that inspired all of this. We were talking about how to do a jig to point at the material where engraving is going to start. And we talked about a paper clip. He thought about that, and I thought about, well, use a nail because I have lots of those. And in the end, what I thought was I could be more elegant, and I started creating a bit of a design, and in this video I'm going to show you what that design does and how I'm going to use the longer B1 to improve itself. But you can do this with any laser that can cut 3mm material, and you can build one of these for yourself. It's really easy, it's really cheap, and it will change your life. So let's get started with the design. So I'll take you on a bit of a journey here, hopefully not too painful, but I want to show you how I designed this. And I use Fusion 360, and it's because of this. I can create an assembly, so I can take all of the parts that I've designed, and they're all individual. You can see them over on the side here. And I can assemble them in a virtual space and make sure everything's going to fit together. So the black piece here is the battery pack. You can see the circle here. This is for a 2032 battery. And there's a power switch on top. There's a back plate. A ring at the top which holds the laser at the top end, a same size hole on the bottom to hold the bottom end of the laser, and then there's a smaller hole which just keeps the laser in from falling at the bottom. And that's it. It's 4 little pieces of wood that I cut. Uses maybe 3 square inches of wood. It's not a lot. You can make this out of acrylic. Best of all, you can make this with the laser you're trying to upgrade, and that's the design. Then I just popped it into Lightburn, and we'll take a quick look at that, but you'll see how I laid it out. Okay, so I've exported all of the parts from Fusion 360 as SVG files. I've loaded them. I'm going to use the longer B1 to cut this, so I've got the speed set to 400 millimeters per minute and 100% power. Now that's a 30-watt laser. You may have to adjust these settings, but you can see how it's laid out. It uses very, very little material, about 2 inches, 2.5 inches in each direction, and it will cut really quickly. So let me throw it at the laser and we'll see what comes out. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly glue it together here. There's only 3-4 pieces to put together. Now before I started, I give it a quick coat of spray paint, just something really light, and just to get it closer to the color of the laser module. So I'm going to start with the bottom here, and I'm going to glue in the bottom tab, which is the one with the smallest hole, and just press it in there. And I'm using CA, but you can use any kind of glue that'll glue wood. Next I'll put in the bottom holder, which is the larger one without the tab on it, so it's just going to sit on top. Alignment here is reasonably critical. Just make sure that it's centered, that the 2 holes are lining up. And then finally I'm going to do the larger hold tab on the top. And you can see this one was a little bit tighter for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I pressed it in there and it was fine. But as I mentioned, you might want to play with the kerf on the Lightburn project. I just pressed it in. And then I'll look at the electronics. All it is a 2032 battery holder. I used one with a switch soldered to one of these crosshair lasers. You can tighten the end or loosen the end to do focus. And you can see it makes a nice crosshair. So those are all the parts. I'm just going to slide that in there, and we'll be ready to go with the next step. Okay, now I'm going to mount it on the B1 laser module. So I'm just going to take a bit of alcohol, clean off the side there, get rid of any grease. And I mentioned I've got 3M tape on the back of my module, but you can use double-sided tape or anything that will stick sufficiently. And I'm just going to stick it up on the side of the laser. You'll notice I'm sticking it up pretty high on the module, and that's so that I don't bang into the side rails or anything. Then I can just adjust the focus of the laser and finally do an adjustment to make sure the crosshairs are perpendicular to the laser module. And that's it. We're ready to go. Our laser sight is pretty much in place. Now we just need to calibrate it. So the laser set up, I have the sight turned on and the paper down on the workspace, and I just drew that dot at the crosshair. Now what I did next is I went back to Lightburn here, and I just drew a rectangle that's 20 by 20 millimeters. And if I look over on the side here, the laser is currently set to current position and lower left corner. So when I'm going to measure something, which I'm going to do in a minute, I'll be measuring from this corner of the rectangle, and this is the only thing that's on the workspace right now. Now the other thing I'm going to check is just to make sure that the enable pointer offset is currently turned off. And what that will do is ensure that we're measuring complete distance here. Now I'm going to go fairly quickly here, 7,000 speed and just 85% power. We're really just going to motor along because all we want to do is just engrave this this square on the paper without burning through. So with that, I'll give this a start and I'll draw that rectangle, and then we'll do some measuring. All right, so we did the test engrave, and in Lightburn back again, what I'm going to do is now go to the laser settings, and I'm going to enable pointer offset, and I measured 43 millimeters on the x-axis and about 9 millimeters on the y-axis. So I'll save that, and then I'll just do that engrave again, and we'll see how close the rectangle is to that dot. This offset basically is where we want the shape versus where the shape actually is. And we're going to do some calculations. We might have to do this a couple of times depending on how accurately we want to measure it. And we'll proceed from there. Now you can see on that sample the X is pretty close, but the Y actually went the wrong direction. And that's because what I want to do here is move the laser forward by 9 millimeters, and we actually moved it back by 9 millimeters. So what we're going to do is change that to -9, and we'll run the test again. So on this attempt, we were a whole lot closer. You can see the rectangle bottom left corner is almost right on the dot where we had the crosshair. So I want to move the X by maybe a millimeter to the right, and the Y is probably still back a little bit. So I'm going to move it maybe 2. So I'll do one final adjustment here, which will be to change the X to 44 and the Y to maybe -11. And that should do it. So anytime we want to do an engrave now, all we have to do is assume that the crosshair is where the engraving is going to start. And it's really that simple. Okay, before we continue on with the alignment, just a gentle reminder, I hate nagging people, but if you are watching this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button. It really helps things out. Also, if you are getting value, make sure you click the like button. And I will, of course, make all the designs in this video available to members. So if you want to become a member, you can click the join button. This is a pretty simple design, so hopefully, the video is enough to inspire you if you don't want to become a member to just go design your own. It's pretty simple. And with that, we can carry on with the alignment here. All right, so now anytime you turn on that sighting laser, the crosshair will point to where engraving or cutting is going to start. So it does help you fit into maybe a previous piece of material where you've got some pieces already cut out. You'll know whether you can fit your design in there. In this case, it takes the longer B1, which is already an amazing laser, and makes it even better, which is hard to believe. But it can also do the same thing for your laser if you don't have a longer B1. Now, if you are interested in one, of course, I'll put a link to the longer B1 review video I did up here. And go watch that, and I'll see you over there. And get out there and make your world, and I'll see you next time.